Thank you for having us. My name is Gilboa Dalal, brother of Guy Gilboa Dalal, who was kidnapped from the Nova Festival. My brother went to this festival with his three best friends. He and them, they were so excited to go to this festival. This is a spiritual festival. This festival is a music festival. It's all about peace and love. My brother wasn't only excited from this festival because it was a spiritual festival, it's because it was his first festival. He saw me going so much times to these kind of festivals, and he always wanted to go himself. I wasn't supposed to go to this festival, but since he went there and I wanted to be part of his experience, I wanted to watch over him, make sure that everything is okay with him. I went. I arrived there at 6 a.m. in the morning when the sun started to come up, when it was supposed to be the happiest moment for both of us. Since I arrived in a separate car than his, and he arrived with his friends, he already had a great time when I arrived there. He and his friends were so happy when I arrived there. He was so joyful. And as soon as I arrived, he jumped at me, he kissed me. He actually waited for me at the entrance. He was so excited that I'm coming. He took a selfie, he sent it right to our mother, telling her how much he is happy that I'm there. And he always sending selfies to our mother, unlike me. Making sure that she knows that everything is okay with him, because she is the kind of mom that gets worried. So yeah, I got into his camp at 6:15, 15 minutes before the siren started. He really wanted me to go to the dance floor with him, and I told him, like, give me a couple of minutes so I can settle all my things, and I didn't have time because the alarms, the sirens already started, and he came back. He and his friends were kind of lost, and in Israel, when we hear the sirens, we immediately thinking about missile attack. So we figured we should leave the place as soon as possible. Now, you could see that some people were trying to take covers on the best places they could, but most of them were trying to get out of there. So everyone were trying to get out on the same time, and the traffic was stuck. Cars were blocking each other's. And since we didn't come in the same car, our car weren't next to each other. I were in the middle of the traffic, and he was way in the back. Since he was way in the back and I was in the middle, then the shooting started. After like 15 minutes, I think, that we waited in the traffic, massive rounds of shooting started, and it was all around us. We couldn't really see the terrorists at the moment, but we could hear the bullets hitting cars and a whistle right next to us. And as I said, because we couldn't move with our car, we had to get out of the car and start to run to the best place we could find a hide. So I got out of the car and I ran into a valley that was next to me, and immediately I called my brother. He then answered me, and actually he answered me. He didn't answer me at the beginning. He called me a few minutes later, and he told me that they also find cover, and they are with 4 cops. So I told him, stay with our cops, stay with our force, stay in the cover, and let me know if anything happens. Then I had to start moving myself because people would start running toward me. Actually, some of them were covered with blood, and the bullets just whistles right above me. They were yelling that we should keep moving because the terrorists are right there. After, I think, 10, 15 minutes again, we found a better cover, a better place to hide. I called my brother again, but he didn't answer. So I called his friends, and they didn't answer also. My parents called me and asked me if I know anything about where my brother and what happened to him. And I didn't know, because I couldn't even go back to him because the terrorists were right above us. So if I were trying to get back to him, I would get shot. We had to keep moving farther into the valley, and for 7.5 hours we were hiding and running until a police force of us could locate us through a location that we sent them. And while they were cover for us and they are still shooting, we ran into the cars and they got us out of there. Now this was at 2 p.m. when we got out. It was 7.5 hours after the event already started. I called to my father as soon as I got out. On the way out, we saw countless of dead bodies of young people. Some of them were burned, some of them were corrupted. Some of them were even in worse condition than that. And once we got out of there, I called my father, and he sounded broken. I immediately knew that something is wrong. He didn't want to tell me. He just told me to come back home as soon as I can. So I told him, look, if something happened to my brother, you need to tell me right now. Tell me what you know. And then he said that my brother is kidnapped. And he's kidnapped, and there is a hostage video of him in Gaza, lying on the floor, tied up, and saying his name to the camera. I saw this video, and it broke me. That was the craziest thing I ever seen. To me, I went there to guard on him, to be with him, to watch over my brother, and I came back without him. That was the worst thing I could expect to happen. None of us expect anything like that could happen. I want to tell you something about my brother and the people who went to this festival. Nova is a community of people that they are all about the peace. These spiritual festivals, half of the people who went there, they have the slogan in the profile picture, Arabs and Jews are refusing to be enemies. They are just the best human I know. 2 of his best friends were murdered. My brother was kidnapped along with his best childhood friend. Ron Sarfati and Idana Ramati were murdered. They were supposed to go to my home from the festival. They were on their way to my home, and instead they found their death. And my brother and his best friend were kidnapped, yeah. My brother is just my best friend. I love him more than anything in the world. He's my little brother, and I always loved him more than myself. We share the same hobbies and interests. We hear the same music, we go to the same concerts, we see the same movies and shows. He's just the best thing I have in my life. He also has a little sister that loves him so much and waits for him. And my mom and dad that are broken since that day. We are all living in hell. And I want you to know just how much we miss him and how much we need him back home. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.